Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. And as always, thank you for all your support, including sharing, chatting, liking, and subscribing. Now roll that famous logo animation. Good evening and welcome back to Computerized Start Live. I'm your host, Justin D. Morgan, and I have been in Kid on Christmas Eve mode since yesterday because I have a package here and I don't know what's in it. But we'll get to that in a moment. Let's see here who Gutbomb says, it's me, Justin. Yes, it is. All right, let's see here who we have in the chat. We have Thomas Armstrong. Hi, Thomas. We have Francois. Hi, Francois. Francois says must sleep, but we all know he seemingly never sleeps until it's really early in the morning. We have Callan. Hi, Callan. We have Sadmac356. Hi, Sadmac. We have Hardware Hacker. Hi, Hardware Hacker. We have, let's see here, we have Jason Merrill of Gut Bomb Industries. Hi, Jason. We have, let's see here, we have Retro Tech Chris. Hi, Chris. We have Joe's Computer Museum. Hi, Joe. And let's see here, we have Joseph Norris. Hi, Joseph. And yes, we have Computer here by virtue of it hasn't moved since Monday. Let's see here. And we have Garth Beagle. Hi, Garth. Welcome, everyone. Let's see here. All right, so we got the coffee goal that's kind of wrong. Links in the description. I keep forgetting to change that. I'll change it for May. Let's see here. And without further ado, let's get to this little box here because this thing has been bugging me since before I even got it, because I get a message from Gutbomb saying, hey, I'm sending you something by way of Amazon. Make sure you open it on stream. So, Jason has sent me this item. It did come by way of Amazon. It was dropped off yesterday, and it's got my address label on it, but I have not opened this box. It is upside down. Let me see if I can cover so that everyone can see. There we go. Note, I have not opened this box. It is still sealed. Still sealed there. So I have not opened it. I don't know what's inside of it. Jason says, if that's a VIC-20, Joe says, any bets if Justin will actually use this thing? Well, I mean, I have an inkling of what might be in here, only because of one of the questions Jason asked me, but if my inkling is correct, then yes, I think I will use it. Sadmax says, given it's from Amazon, I doubt it's a bunch of DVDs. Cupum says, Jason says, I did ask a leading question. Chris says, no bets to Joe. All right. And we have we have items. Let's see here. A gift for you. I hope there is enough room for this on your bench from Jason Merrill. All right. Thank you, Jason. And it looks like we got some, I better stop reading that. Joe says, a box full of bubble wrap. That happens to me all the time. All right. So we've got that. All right. That is the only thing in the box. And drum roll, please. Chris says, "Oh, what a guy!" And we have an oscilloscope multimeter. Wow. Now I don't have to say I've got no room on my bench for an oscilloscope. And look at that. We got oscilloscope probe, which if anyone was wondering what Jason asked me, he asked, do you have any normal oscilloscope probes? I think that was pretty much his, Chris says, very generous. Yes. Garth says, yes, wow. Thomas says, a thingy. Garth says, I have this one and it's amazing. Alan says, yeah, nice one, Gut Bomb. Yes. Oh, it's the Zoe. I recognize this from other channels. The Zoe ZT703S oscilloscope multimeter. Yeah, the leading question was about oscilloscope probes. So there we go. It looks like I've got 2 probes, a USB-C charging cable, and there's the multimeter probes. And Hardware Hacker says I have that too. Capum says I use this as my primary multimeter and oscilloscope. Garth says I was able to confirm that the sound chip on a Classic 2 board I had was bad with this and fixed RAM on my original Mac 128. Capum says the meter is quite competent and the big bright screen makes it the easiest one to see. Thomas says, oh, it has batteries. Yes, I hope it has batteries. Let's see. Oh, I guess, there we go. And does it have a charge? Yes, it has a charge. Look at that. Joe says, we'll be able to see Justin do oscope stuff. Woot! All right, yeah, that's great. Oh, no, it does need charged. I suspected that. All right, let's see here. Oh, here we go. Luckily, I do usually keep a power bank down in the basement just for such an occasion. A power bank that has yet to be recalled. I keep waiting for the day when they actually decide to recall it because it's seemingly like a lot of the other ones that get recalled these days. Let's see here. So we'll go ahead and start letting this charge so that should we need an oscilloscope tonight, we'll be able to use it. There we go. All right, and then, oh, there we go. My power bank actually automatically turned on when I plugged it in, which is more than I can say than it does when I plug an iPhone in to charge it. So there we go. Jason says, okay, first thing you'll want to do is turn off the auto off feature. Let's see here. Oh, menu. Oh, there we go. Auto off is off. I found it, yes. Yeah, auto off is off. Oh, I sent you detailed instructions on how to do that on Discord. Oh, no, it doesn't default to off now. I just happened to find it really quick. It defaulted to 30 minutes or whatever it was. Very nice. Thank you, Jason. I will definitely use this. Um, might even need it tonight. Who knows? But I do have a charging with my power bank here. Power bank that I got free for buying a CFast card for a digital camera. And I then sold that digital camera because it was just way too fancy, and sold the CFast card, but I kept the power bank for myself because, yeah, do I really want to try shipping a lithium ion battery pack? No. Jason says, I hope it comes in handy. It's worked for me on anything I've used it with. It's a great first line of triage, and sometimes, and very capable. That Hardware Hacker says, yay, potential free training tonight for me. Laughing. Yeah. All right. So, with that, yeah, Chris says, oh, today is the last day of April apples. Garth says, from now on, like when we'd yell about checking voltage from expelled batteries, we need to yell to check clocks. Yes. All right. So we have computer. Computer is still on the bench, surprisingly, or not surprisingly. You all probably know me. That the beginning of the week project tends to stay on the bench. And yes, that is correct. You may mark the Justin did not move the project 1 inch box on your bingo cards. All right. Hopefully, I got the keyboard plugged back in right. All right. I think I should probably check to um, make sure we are still good. Let me turn on the smart outlet. All right. So the keyboard is on an insulator. The video is still plugged in, and we have a beep, and there we go. Yep. All right. So computer is still working. Chris is asking, so Justin, about Saturday, you still out? Yeah, I will not be at the swap meet. I've had some things come up on Saturday that are local, so I will not be able to make it to the swap meet. Yep. Um. So I well, Chris says, well, I'll keep an eye out. All right. Well, that's good. I wanted to make it, but Cart says, oh yeah, sorry, I can't make it either. Hardware Hacker says, I'll be there in spirit, Chris. Chris is contemplating going up tomorrow night. Hmm. Chris says, oh, Garth Beagle, oh no. Well, you're welcome to join, of course. Good. Hardware Hacker says, haunting you at every turn. Ha ha ha. Yes. So Chris will have non will not have me trying to take away opportunities at buying LTE laptops. All right. I guess now is the time where I'm going to have to try to figure out where I put the expansion cards for computer. Because, of course, I don't quite remember where I put them because I bought computer 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. Or was it 3 years ago? How long have I been working on computer? I am having trouble remembering because I have worked on computer for so long. That is Huh. Okay, I am going to the playlist. I have had, let's see, I believe 18. Is that right? 18 live streams where computer has been part of the live stream? That can't be right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Huh. Actually, I think it might be 19, counting tonight's. Wow. All right. Well, I will do a little bit of, let me see if I can copy the link to the playlist. Should be a public playlist. But yeah, anyways, I do have a playlist. If anyone's curious. And YouTube is telling me that there are 18 videos in the playlist, although I think it may not be including tonight's, even though it shows tonight's as live at the moment in the playlist. But yeah. Now, I don't think I've worked on computer all the time in all of those live streams, because one of them is no, I've had computer for 3 years. That was my other question. I bought computer in 2023. Yikes. I've been working on this thing for 3 years. It looks like the swap meet that I bought it at was sometime around July 26th, 2023. Probably the 23rd. And it looks like I started working on computer August 16th of that year for a couple streams. And then, yeah, that is wild. Anyways, that's the playlist if anyone wants to check it out. So, in the past 3 years, what have I done with the expansion cards that were in computer? Good question. Let me go. Actually, I'll just put you on the hold music, and I will be back, hopefully, with the expansion cards. Because they are... Okay, I think I know where they are. I think they are setting all the way back on top of something against that back wall. I think I put all the cards for computer in the same area. On top of another computer, because... Well, yeah, it's acting as a shelf right now. But anyways, I'll be right back, hopefully with all the expansion cards that I think I have for computer. All right, I found most of the cards I was looking for. I didn't pull a Trina and sell them on Facebook Marketplace prior to I'm thinking that might be a typo there, but anyways, I did not find all the cards I expected to find, so I will probably have to go look again. Oh, before needing them. Now, I don't think I did, but I have. All right. There were 2 cards in Computer when I got Computer. Um, and this was one of them. So this is a 128K RAM card. I believe, if my research is correct, this is a clone of the Saturn 128K RAM card. And it is branded the same as the branding on the motherboard, so MCA. So I'm pretty sure this was original to the system. And the other card that I'm looking for, and I'm not exactly sure where it went, oh, you know, it might be in my Apple II Plus now that I think about it. There was a Z80 card in Computer, which a Z80 card, yeah, it's a RAM expansion board, and it can act as the language card. Yeah, clone and a clone, how very Shakespearean. Yeah, it was a system of clones. Now, there was a Z80 card in Computer, which you can't use a Z80 card without an 80 column card. So I did pick up this ViewMax 80 card off eBay, a place where I buy the things I later regret, so that we can put an 80 column card in Computer and maybe be able to use the CPM card that was in Computer. I picked this one because it felt like it kind of felt like it was appropriate. So yeah, it's got a video in and an out. So I think it's got an auto switch feature for when you go to and from 80 column mode. Joseph Norris says, I remember having a DOS board that installed in the bottom slot of an Amiga 500. Neat. All right. Also, not included with Computer, but I bought separately, was this lovely drive controller card, which I think might actually work. It does look like I tried to fix it, because I've installed some sockets on it. Anyways, we will attempt this. But yep, it's the clone controller card. I did, partly because I was thinking that maybe I would like to be a little nicer on the power supply that's in Computer. I did buy one of those Garrett's Workshop replica cards of the Saturn 128K RAM card. So a clone of a clone of a clone. Although it's probably a clone of the original. So yeah, all this logic fits on that card. apparently. Hardware Hacker says cloneception. So we'll see. Although I'd like to put the original RAM card in it, so I may hold this for another Apple. And then, because I thought it would be nice if I had a serial port and computer, because I would like to actually use it, and maybe writing floppy images would be one nice thing to do with a nice computer-like computer, is I did get a Super Serial card. And the reason why I bought an Apple Super Serial card is because it had the proper bracket for going into a Apple II clone case or even an Apple II real case. So there's your serial port, and I think it fits in the plastic shell. So we won't necessarily test this tonight, but I did at least want to put a serial card in it. And given that the only serial cards that I've found that actually have the proper hanging bracket are the Apple ones, I bought the Apple one for it. All right. So let's see here. We will start with the RAM card. And although I don't know if we'll be able to know that it's working just by plugging it in, but anyways. Well, it did not explode. It did not explode. That I can tell you. Now, I think probably the next thing to try, because it's the thing we'll have to do to know if that RAM card is working, is we need a disk controller card. So we'll put that into slot 6. And now I need a floppy emu. I'm trying to remember how Bruce told me that it's pronounced, because Americans don't usually pronounce the bird correctly. I think we like to say emu, but I think it's emu. Callan says, always a good sign. Yes. Thomas says, the AST multi-IO card for Apple are cool. I didn't know AST did a multi-IO card for Apple. If they did, well, I've never seen one. And they probably go for lots more than I'm willing to spend on eBay. Alright, where did I... You know, the other day I thought I saw my floppy emu somewhere on my bench. But then I was wondering if I had dreamt about where I had hoped that my floppy emu was on my bench. Ah, Jason says, I say it like the letters MU because it's an emulator. Floppy MU. Ah. Thomas Armstrong. Oh. Thomas Armstrong just put a link to the chat to a picture of the AST multi-IO card for Apple. It looks like it's got a clock, naturally. And is that maybe 2 serial ports? Supposed to provide parallel and serial ports as well as a system clock. That's neat. Huh, I have never seen one of those before. Hi, Socket Wrench, welcome. Clock, serial, and parallel. Yep. Alright. Continuing my search for my floppy emu later. It likes to run away. Like a big flightless bird. But I believe that would be an ostrich. Joe should make a replica. Yeah. That would be really cool. You wouldn't want me replicating a Macintosh floppy drive because I would make a cycle accurate floppy emulator and it would cost like $100 bazillion. But it would be cycle accurate. Where did I put my floppy emu? Alright, I'm gonna put you all on hold while I try to find the floppy emu. It should be on my bench somewhere, but it's hiding under something. So, because it's actually been a while since I've used it. So, I'll put the hold music back on, and hopefully I'll be back in a minute or two. Sakura says, fortunately, there is no floppy cassowary. Yeah. Sadvex says, oh no, the idea of a floppy cassowary. it was bugging me. I was trying to also find the Z80 card. So I do have the floppy Swallow. I just need to tie a coconut to it, and then the question will be African or European. All right. So the floppy the floppy emu is currently running Macintosh firmware. That will not work with an Apple II. So since I have never bothered to buy a second one so that I could have one for Mac and one for Apple II, let me see if I can find my micro SD card adapter. That's a CF card reader. That is a all right, please continue to hold. Our next available micro SD card reader will be with you shortly. Our estimated wait time is infinity minutes. No, wait, it's 2 minutes. No, wait, it's an hour. Jason's like, I sent you one at one point. You've probably lost it by now. And the answer would be, I mean, it's not lost. It's just floating around my workbench somewhere. Jason would be like, I think that means it's lost. Hey, Game Doco 4, welcome. You have caught me trying to find an conversion technology, as Crazy Ken would put it. Well, there's a trying to find my micro SD card reader. It has run away. I mean, I do have an alternate. I do have an alternate thing I could do if I can. If I can find the box of floppy disks, and I could boot an actual physical disk, but I'd have to find the box of floppy disks. It would probably be quicker to find a micro SD card adapter, even if I've got to run upstairs. That's a disk cleaning kit. Oh, that's that. These are the expansion cards I bought at VCF East. You know, I think they could probably be moved somewhere other than my primary workbench. Let's see here. Joe says, I ran away for a bit to do work stuff. How goes computer? Computer is going well. I am trying to find the micro SD card adapter on my workbench so I can put the floppy MU into Apple II mode. Because I guess it would have taken too much space to have put like a switchable boot ROM on it so you could switch between Apple II mode and Macintosh mode with the simple flip of a switch or push of a button or something like that. Yeah, computer needs a multi-IO card, but I've never seen one of those before. And if it showed up on eBay, I'm likely not to pay the $1 billion price they'd be asking because it's Steve Jobs rare. Now, if someone would donate one, I'll gladly put it in computer because that feels like the kind of card that someone would have put in computer. Does this machine boot Pro DOS? Um, Probably not. Joe says, no idea where you might get a card that can kind of do all kinds of things on the Apple II. I have one of those cards in an Apple II somewhere. Where is it? Joe says ProDOS 241 boots on a 48K Apple II Plus machine, so probably so. Mr. Tech Gadget, hi, says A2 Pico. Yes. That is not what I am trying to boot Computer Inspector because that's the only diagnostic software I have for an Apple machine. I want to see that the Saturn card is actually working. No, sorry, you've got me. Where did I put that adapter? It's probably fallen on the floor. I can't find it. It's probably on the floor. Where I lose everything to inevitably. All right. Okay. Now I am like yes, I am trying to run a specific program. That is why I am trying to find the item I am trying to find. Thomas Armstrong says I have a ROM dump of the Apple AST card. Well, that's cool. Sorry, I am like in a single track mind trying to find the adapter so I can change the mode of my floppy emu. Then I can run the program I'm trying to run, which will tell me what it sees in the slots instead of me running something that I can only assume the cards are seen in the slots. All right. Did I take that adapter upstairs? Thing is, I don't know where my adapter went. I don't see it on the floor. Unless it really fell under my workbench. Has me believing I took it upstairs, but all right. I know. I realize. Yes, please continue to hold. I am trying to do something specific, and then maybe we can do other things. Although, here's a thought ponderer for those of you out there. I was looking at possibly doing some alumni event in another city and was looking at potential hotel rooms. Riddle me this: why would the Marriott be cheaper than the Courtyard by Marriott? Other than I think the Marriott charges $15 a day for parking, which is not included in the room rate. But we'll ignore that slight fact. Yeah, the Marriott was cheaper than the Courtyard by Marriott. Riddle me that. In fact, actually, I think that particular Marriott for that one night, if I booked it non-refundable, I want to say it was like $124 before fees, and the Courtyard by Marriott's lowest rate was like $179. Yeah, I really don't get that one. Yeah, riddle me that. And both were for the same. In fact, they both came up in the same search, so they were for the same night of stay, which was a Friday night. Which I can only presume is probably the clue as to why the Marriott was cheaper than the Courtyard. But yeah, it was a Friday night stay. The two properties are within a block or two of each other. And yeah, the Marriott was cheaper than the Courtyard by Marriott. That was bizarre. And no, neither property gives you free breakfast. So yeah, that's not it. Yeah, with a price like that, I'd be inclined to stay at the Marriott. Other than I think the Marriott charges for parking, which, well, the Marriott still may be the better stay. Now, granted, both hotel rooms are like at least 5 times more expensive than the alumni event, so there's that going for it. Uh, Hi, Dave. Welcome. You've caught me looking for the my micro SD card adapter, which is too small to put an AirTag on it. I don't know what I did with it. I think I'm going to have to go to Plan B, which is find the box of floppy disks. All right, Plan B. All right, I see the box of floppy disks. Now let me go see if I can find the floppy drive. It should be. Hmm. All right. Hold one more moment. I think I know where the floppy drive is. I'll go put you on hold though, in case I gotta go run upstairs for it. If I'm wrong. Hi, one bit. Welcome. Uh-oh. All right. Um, that's weird. Hold, please. I seem to have lost one of my camera sources. Joe says, "Hi, I'm OBS. I'm here to run your cameras. You'll never know which ones, but I do run them. Enjoy the show." Weird. Video connection, HDMI. Well, if I hide it and then show it again, that is weird. All right. Well, what happens if I? Chris says, "Can't beat the price of OBS though." No, you can't. All right. So if I unplug the HDMI cable from my camcorder, which by the way, my camcorder is still on, and the image on the camcorder is very clearly what it should be. All right, now plug the HDMI cable back in. Thomas says, "Be glad OBS is not a restaurant chain." Okay, that's my pluggable microscope. That is. Huh. Sadmax says, "Yeah, free if you don't value your time." Yeah, and apparently it just like decided all of a sudden to lose one of the camera sources. That's all right. I'm checking device manager. I don't remember what branch it shows up under. Is it an other device? Nope. Is it a sound, video, and game controller? Well, there it is. Device is working properly. Oh. Maybe I should update the driver someday. That probably would help. Let me open up the. Okay, so the desktop video setup program sees the card. All right, that's good. I haven't lost the card. I am thinking I might have to, like. All right, let me try changing. All right, so I just changed it to component. Now, if I change it back to HDMI, Well, here's the problem, Joe. I can't change the camera in the source because this particular camera that went black is my Blackmagic Design Intensity card, which uses the Blackmagic Intensity device because there's a special driver in OBS for it, and I only have one of those cards. So I can't change which card I'm using. I only have one of them, and you can't select a camera in the source. So yeah. Um yeah, it's like the camera's done something. And if you ever wonder why in the world I sometimes like change topics at the last minute, you're kind of seeing it now, although losing the camera is something that won't happen until I'm streaming, but I normally, if I'd had time to find everything for the stream beforehand, I might have realized that I have misplaced way too much stuff. I'd better pick another topic, and I would have just grabbed a different Apple II clone and whipped up a slightly different thumbnail, and, well, you all would have been wondering where computer was, but we'd had another Apple II clone on the bench. I am kind of wondering if that is where my Z80 card went. But now I've got the problem that my intensity card has, like, stopped working, and the only way I'm going to be able to fix it is to probably restart the computer. Yeah, I guess I'm going to have to. Alright, so let me try what Joe's suggesting. Let me delete. I still have my dinosaur, yes. Okay, let me try. Alright, let me try. Oh, that's weird. Alright, actually, I just noticed something. Interlace. Okay, blend. Top field first. Alright, so I'm going to try deleting the. Alright, Blackmagic Intensity. Alright, so now I'm going to add the Blackmagic device. Alright, the device Intensity Pro. Video connection HDMI. Mode is 1080i 5994. 8-bit YUV. Default, 2-channel, and nothing. Hold on. I have. All right, let me try turning off the camera. It could actually, it could be the camera and not the capture card. That is a good point. All right, so I turned off the camera. Let me try turning the camera back on again. No. Okay, I have an idea. I don't know how well it'll work. That actually wasn't the idea, but actually that might work better than my first idea. Okay, so I just tilted my camera down, and other than things are not quite the way you usually see them, but yeah, all right. That'll work in a pinch. I do have a spare black magic card somewhere in the house. I think I had it in a pile of stuff to list on eBay. Maybe it's just as well I haven't listed it on eBay. Because my the one that's in this computer might have failed, or maybe I just need to update the drivers. I don't know. Anyways, I all right. So we're gonna skip this for now. I don't know where anything I need to test that is. So instead, I'm going to install this 80 column card because we can test it from basic. I think the 80 column card goes in slot 3. Um, or is it slot 4? You know, or it's not going in that slot. Sorry. Does anyone know what slot the 80 column card's supposed to go in? I don't remember. Slot 3. All right. I don't think this card is compatible with this computer. Or maybe maybe it is. Maybe it is. Oh, maybe it actually went in the slot. Okay. I was thinking it, well, compatible in that it should work, but incompatible in that this card has a design where part of the PCB is below the slot, and it's like I wasn't able to really get it in the slot because these ROM chips are too tall. Also, oh, there we go. I think I got it in the slot. So if we do a PR number 3, there we go. We are in 80 column mode. Whoops. Whoops. Oh, hold please. I dislodged the keyboard cable somehow. Alright, hold please while I fix the keyboard cable. Okay, there we go. Alright. Um, yeah, computer feels a bit jumpy tonight. 10. Question mark. Joe gave me a program to. Capcom says maybe looking at the video signal with the scope might help narrow down where that noise is coming from. Actually, all I gotta do is look at Joe's comment, and I know exactly where the noise is coming from. Gotta love the two's non-standard NTSC video output. It's there's nothing I can fix. The scaler is going to do that. Oh, Capcom says I'm just being silly. I know exactly where it's coming from. All right. I don't know why computer was being a bit ornery. There we go. We got 80 columns. Look at that. Actually, interestingly enough, oh, 80 column mode must be black and white. It must have turned off the color burst. It says the cursor blinking is what's causing the shifting and whatnot. And it's not jumpy. Yeah, Joe says 80 has no color burst. Yeah, that's why it's stable. Yeah, that's cool. So my 80 column card works. That's good. Now, all right. So now I got the disc controller card and then somewhere a Z80 card. But I'm thinking maybe I put the Z80 card in. It might be in my Apple IIe. That might be where the Z80 card I can't find is. All right. Now, let me see if I can remember where the floppy drive I'm looking for is. Because I think the box of discs I thought I saw downstairs was actually a brand new sealed box of discs. I think I might have taken my floppy disks upstairs, which is why I can't find them. Somewhere I have an Apple II floppy drive that has a ribbon cable on the end. I seemingly have like an Apple II or item or two that I have like put somewhere creative. Hmm. All right, I guess let me go upstairs. Let me see if I can find that Z80 card. And while I'm up there, let me see if I can find my box of floppy disks. If I can find the box of floppy disks, then one way or another we'll boot some program that'll confirm that we have a good 128K card. And we can boot CPM. And maybe if I go look beside my computer I've got a laptop on the island in the kitchen. Maybe my SD card adapter is there. Because I'm thinking maybe I did copy some video files off of it and left it in the kitchen. So let me go upstairs. Let me see if I can find either the Z80 card, the box of floppy disks, the SD card adapter, or maybe all three. Because if I can find the floppy disks, then I know I've got a controller card somewhere that will let me plug an Apple II drive of some part in. And we'll go from there. Just may not be using this controller card I wanted to put in the computer. So I'll be right back. Well, the good news is I found the Z80 card that I was looking for. This is the Z80 card that was in Computer. And my oh my, is it a sharp Z80 card? Har, 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 har. Ah, hey, Jean-Francois. Welcome. All right, so... Oh, let's turn that off. And then we can install the Z80 card in slot 4. Yes, I put it in my Apple IIe for my stream that I did after the Z80 was discontinued. Joe says, I know who sells Z80 cards that don't have Z80s in them. Wink. Winking face, yes. I know who does too. And I got caught looking at them earlier today. Or was it yesterday? Might have been both. Yes, if you don't have a Z80 card, you can buy an A2 Pico from jcm-1.com. Not a sponsor of this stream, but a friend of the channel. And the Z80 firmware is one of the firmwares you can have pre-installed on it. I think some kind of computer museum, yes. Gutbum says, Jason says, I have one of those in my 2GS, yes. All right, so now I've got the 128K card, an 80 column card, and the Z80 card. So now the Z80 card can be used because I have an 80 column card for computer, because you can't run CPM without an 80 column card. Jean-Francois says, A2 Pico cards are great. I have 2. I have one somewhere. It might be the older design. Pretty sure I've got one. In fact, for all I know, it was in the Apple IIe, and I just didn't pay any attention to it being in one of the slots. Or it might be in my Apple II Plus. All right, I am trying to remember where I put the box of floppy disks. Trying to see if I can find my SD card adapter. Anything? Bueller. Where did I put that adapter? Yes, my bench is a mess. But I don't know that that's necessarily why I can't find the adapter I'm looking for. Because I'm not entirely convinced that I didn't take the adapter upstairs for some reason. And then failed to bring it back downstairs. Mr. Tech Gadget says only one. Every slotted Apple II deserves at least 2 A2 Picos. Well, now, computer I'm trying to restore. So that's why I have not fallen for an A2 Pico in computer. I'm trying to restore computer to what it might have been back in the day. Computer deserves it. Because otherwise I would have just done something really horribly awful about the ROM that failed and not had a replacement ROM of the same type programmed. So, I'm going for a restoration for computer. In fact, that probably means I'm going to try to replicate the experience of the case badge as much as I can, even if it's not a 100% accurate replica. It will be close enough that you probably wouldn't notice. Jean Francois says, computer deserves only the best old stuff. Yes. That's why I have this old controller card, and why I even tried to buy some. Oh, I keep forgetting that I had to swap cameras. So if you wonder why I keep like putting stuff here where you can't hardly see it, it's because I keep going for my camcorder that's normally what I use to show. And yeah, I got this controller card because computer didn't have one in it. Nice looking with the classical drive 1 and drive 2 letters. I thought that looked cool. Because I figured you might have something like this in computer. It's a clone controller card, but beats me where my box of floppies are and where my SD card adapter is, and even where my ribbon cabled Apple II controller is. Joe says, I have a card exactly like that. Yeah, I remember now. You do. I found that card on eBay, the place where I buy all the things I later regret. In fact, maybe I should buy an SD card adapter on eBay. Then I can regret it too. Possibly regretfully lose it. I have no idea what I did with it. It should be on my bench. I should have more than one. I must have taken it upstairs for something. Hold please. Let me check to make sure I didn't like stick it. Oh, there those are. All right. Oh, yeah, if it weren't for the fact that today's the last day of April apples, if I'd realized I'd misplaced so much stuff, I probably would have swapped what we were working on. But it's the last day of April apples, so sorry. I was just complaining to myself, practically. Um, just kind of, yeah, lamenting that if I'd misplaced so much stuff and realized it before I streamed, I would have picked a different computer to work on. But it's the last day of April Apples, so. Hmm. Where did I. Alright, I guess maybe we can find another way to boot this computer. I still don't know what I did with the box of floppy disks, though. I seemingly remember putting them somewhere safe. And by safe, apparently, I meant put them somewhere where I will not be able to easily find them. Safe for myself, in other words. Okay. I'm getting frustrated with myself. Misplaced SD card adapters and the box of floppy disks. And floppy drive I'd need to plug into this controller card. Although I could probably explain that last item, probably because I stuck it somewhere where I maybe didn't have to look at it all the time because of where it came from. Although I know I still have it. All right. Thought. Please hit the like button. Like button helps me know that even when I get frustrated and flustered, that I should press on. Even if I need to put you on Be Right Back for a fourth time while I attempt to find some way to boot this computer. Fifth, I chose this fifth time, but who's counting? Obviously wasn't me counting. All right, let me put you on Be Right Back while I attempt to find one of the items that would help me boot this computer. All I gotta do is find one of them if it's the right one, otherwise two. Just says we need to get Justin shop cams so he can go off and do things and still be on camera. Lol. Yeah. Um, I'll be right back. Okay, I found the floppy disks in the floppy drive. Dave says, going up on the first floor, we have eBay finds. On the second floor, we have Wheel of Regrets. On the third card, we have Trident cards. Sadmax says, honestly, I wasn't counting how many times we've been on hold. I've had the stream on in the background while adding water to an aquarium. Okay, so I found the floppy drive. It was sitting on top of an Apple II Eve of all computers. I do not like this style of floppy cable because I do not like that Apple did not clearly mark which pin 1 was. But I believe pin 1 is... I don't know which one pin 1 is. Bad things happen if you get it backwards. Looking it up. I'm having trouble finding the answer on the web. Because, of course, Apple didn't put a pin 1 indicator on this cable. Oh, wait, maybe they did. It's the arrow. Oh, there we go. I see the little arrow on the ribbon, the connector on the ribbon cable. Alright, that's pin 1. Alright. Very good. It's also the... Alright. So I got the floppy drive connected. Hopefully correctly. We'll know in a moment. Got computer inspector in the drive. And 3, 2, 1. And we are... There we go. Computer inspector. We have an Apple II Plus with 64K of memory. Slot 0 is a language card. Slot 3 is an 80 column card. Slot 6 is a disk 2 card. So I guess this does not see the... Z80 card. Uh-oh. Main memory needs repair. Error 36 at D004. Well, that's not good. Let me pull out my Saturn card. Because I think that's probably about where D004 would have been. All right, we have 48K of memory. I think there's a bad chip or something on my Saturn card. That's not good. Well, I'll have to troubleshoot it sometime, I guess. All right, I guess what we can do for now, we'll take the Garrett's Workshop card. Which is modern and most likely connected, or was tested before it was shipped. We'll plug it into slot 0. And we'll make sure that the, there we go. Sees the language card. Yeah, these Saturn cards are seen as a language card. You know, this original Saturn card has some Hitachi chips on it. And I had a whole bunch of Hitachi chips fail on computer. I am wondering... if maybe one of them has failed on this card as well. Or possibly both of them. I think there's two. Let me see if my TL866 will test the all right. While we I'm all right, so I'm curious. So there's two Hitachi chips on this card. For those of you that haven't seen all 18 previous live streams, because I couldn't tell you which exactly of those 18 live streams I've dealt with the Hitachi chips that were in computer. Um, I can tell you that these Hitachi chips on this board look exactly the same as the ones that failed on computer. So see, there's a 74 LS80 and a 74 LS266. Also possible the sockets might be corroded on this card if it was actually in computer. Anyways, I'm gonna see if I can't carefully extract the two Hitachi chips that are on this board and test them. Otherwise, we will have to look at this card at a later date because it's 11:20. I don't have time to. We don't have much time to try to debug it, and it's probably going to need more time than we have. And I cannot find my chip lifter. I don't know. All right. Well, I guess without my chip lifter, we won't be looking at that card. Bummer. All right. Okay. Let's at least see if a few other things run. So I'm gonna start with. There we go. The cool thing is, it loaded integer basic into the what it thinks is a language card. So that's good. That's the cool thing about those Saturn cards, even though they don't hook into the RAM chip like a normal language card. The first 16K on the card looks exactly like a language card. The other cool thing about computer is the following. Computer runs Oregon Trail. I don't have a CPM floppy disk, so we can't try to run CPM. We could learn about the trail. All right. Well, I guess let's we can do a bit of yeah. Actually, the image quality in a game actually looks pretty good. Well, Joe was saying it was the flashing cursor that was causing the problems. Oh, I can actually see that the image is slightly jittery, but I think with the graphics on the screen, I think the capture card is better able to lock into the signal in Oregon Trail because there's actually a decent amount of information on the screen. Just some names there because I want to try to quickly get through a partial game of Oregon Trail. All right, I think we should leave in April because it's April apples. And we should buy it at Matt's General Store. All right, so let's buy some oxen. Recommend at least 3 yoke. All right, we'll go for 3 yoke, and we'll go for food, and we might have to reduce that. Let's see, clothing. Inevitably, we will manage to lose an awkward amount the first time we try to ford the river. All right, so let's see. This is America, so we'll do that. And let's see here, spare parts. Oh, that's actually pretty good. That gives us $70 to travel with. All right, for um, gas tips and tolls. Speaker could be a bit louder, but well. All right, so let's change our pace already before we even start. We are going to go at a grueling pace while it's cool, and we are going to change our food rations, and we'll go for meager. All right. Sure, we can look around. I have no idea if my microphone's even picking that speaker up. All right, we will continue on the trail. We must cross the river. It's currently 640 feet across and 6.3 feet deep in the middle. Um, I don't know. I'm feeling adventurous. Oh no! Oh no! How sad. We lost one set of clothing, all of our spare parts, and poor old Dan. I knew I should have forded the river instead. Sadbeck says, "Remember, if you could walk, you were walking." Yeah. All right, we're not gonna look around. We don't have time to look around. We got to make up for lost time. 249 feet across and 4.9 feet deep in the middle. Um, I think we're gonna ford the river this time. Um, wow, I am not doing that well at all in this game. We lose 143 bullets, 1,019 pounds of food, and two oxen. Yikes. Well, at least we didn't lose 9 sets of clothing. I think I had that happen in another game where um, all our clothes went floating down the river. All right, let's go look at the gravesite. We can stop and look. Here lies Andy, pepperoni and cheese. Sad Max says, things I only learned in the last few years despite having played this on OS9 a number of times. Yeah. One bit says, use a Quake rocket jump to go over the river. No, we don't have time to look around. Oh no, Alan has dysentery. Wrong trail, lose 4 days. A thief comes and steals 2 sets of clothing. Well, nope, we don't have time to look around at Chimney Rock. Yeah, Jack. Hey, Jack. Jack says, I'm just in time for Oregon Trail. Yes, we're playing Oregon Trail on computer. Yes, we now have to do the absolutely historically accurate flip the disc to side 2 to continue your Oregon Trail adventure. Just like, I guess, when settlers got to the fort, they had to flip their disc over. Fort Laramie, yeah. Actually, let's change. All right, let's change our pace because it's about to get to the warm part of the year and we're in poor health to a strenuous pace, and we'll Actually, let's attempt to hunt for food. There we go. No, computer's not in computer's case. Not yet. We shot 1,002 pounds of meat. However, you were only able to carry 100 pounds back to the wagon. Yep. Maybe I should have stopped with the deer. All right. Oh well. All right. Fine. Let's get back on the trail. Independence Rock. Nope, we don't have time. Sorry. Trying to get to Wally World. Trying to get to Wally World before it closes. Oh, good. Some good luck. We find an abandoned wagon, and now we've got some spare parts. All right. Oh, not the measles. Let's head for the Green River crossing. This is more entertaining than Mim Test, says Jean Francois. Yes. Inadequate grass. Very little water, despite the fact we're now at a river. No, we don't want to look around. Let's see here. 400 feet across and 20 feet deep in the middle. How about I'm going to take the ferry across? I wonder if this game will let you, like, not. If you, I wonder if you could take the ferry if you ever have a disaster on the ferry, or if that's like a always a safe bet. Bad water. Well, we'll get to Soda Springs here. Now we got someone Alan with a fever. A fire in the wagon. 6 sets of clothing, 56 bullets, two wagon axles, and a tongue. Oh, maybe I should have looked around. All right, let's size up the situation. What are our supplies? How many supplies do we have? We have 4 oxen, one set of clothing, 34 bullets, a wagon wheel, and an axle. Huh. Well, hopefully our wagon tongue doesn't fail because. Alright, we're gonna stop and rest for 7 days because our health is very poor. Alright, and then we're going to attempt to hunt for food carefully because I have 34 bullets. $33, 31 because I messed up. Oh, we got a bear. Alright, that's 100 pounds of food. Oh, good. We didn't waste much. Alright. Alright, we'll continue. That's a little bit of extra food there. Nope. We can't. We can't look around. 182 miles to the Snake River. Yeah, now we're in poor health again. Yeah. Rough trail. Okay. Inadequate grass. Wrong trail. Bad water. Broken wagon wheel. Would you like to try to repair it? Yes. Hey, we were able to repair it. Oh no, not cholera. One bit says, you're walking across Mordor, dude. Yeah. That's about the sum of it. Snake River crossing. We don't have time to look around. 1,000 feet across and 6 feet deep in the middle. Um. Oh, well, I guess we can't hire a guide because. Hmm. All right. Guess we're gonna have to try to float the wagon because. Yeah, I don't have 3 sets of clothing to trade. All right. Well, that was good. Yeah, we made it. All right. That usually doesn't happen. Impassable trail. Lose 6 days. Hey, at least our health is fair now. One of the oxen is injured. Well, can we like turn it into food? Sad Max says, "Yeah, generally, if it makes it halfway without an issue, you're good." This is one bit says, "Game made you a liar instantly." All right, Oh, broken leg. Inadequate grass. Find wild fruit. All right. That's good. Oh, it's 20 pounds of wild fruit. Impassable trail. Lose 8 days. I think I'm going to have to go hunting after this. Yeah, we're kind of getting low on food. All right. Let's attempt to hunt. I'm being very careful with my hunting because also I have no idea where the other arrow keys are, so I can only turn around. Yay, there we go. That Max says, I'm surprised the wild fruit being poisonous wasn't in any version I'm aware of. Jack says, lol, the upside down bear. Yeah. All right, there we go. We got a little more food. All right, we'll continue on the trail. Um, head for the Dalles. 125 miles. All right. We might have enough food. Broken arm. Would you like to repair it? Yes. That's good that we were able to repair it because we do not have any spare tongues. Heavy fog. Very little water. Now we're at a river. Take the Barlow Toll Road. Yes. Yes, let's try to repair. Must replace it with a spare part. Dysentery. Uh, Ox wanders off, lose 2 days. Well, I thought we were going to have enough food, but I'm not convinced. Yay, we found wild fruit. All right. Rough trail. Very little water. Come on. We can make it. We're almost there. Broken leg. Come on. We can make it. 0 miles. We've made it to Oregon. Jack says, I feel like there was not a lot to this game. All right, let's see how many points we earned. All right. 4 people in very poor health, 800 points. 1 wagon, we got 50 points. All right. We made it to Oregon with our wagon. 4 oxen is 16 points. 1 spare wagon part, 2 points. 1 set of clothing, 2 points. No points for bullets. 137 pounds of food, 5 points. $58 cash, 11 points. For going as a carpenter, your points are doubled. There we go. Oh, your points are doubled for going as a carpenter because you get half the money as the banker. And I think if you go as the farmer, I think your points are like tripled. Because you get half again as much as the carpenter. That makes sense. Honestly, yeah, there wasn't for me. It was about playing with other people. Yes. One bit says, I'm glad I stayed. I've never seen the end of this game. All right. Well, that's computer. I guess now I gotta, yeah. So, despite the fact that I had trouble finding things, one of my capture sources decided to go into La La Land. Hopefully, a restart fixes it. Uh, we got we got the expansion cards in computer. We played Oregon Trail. Honestly, if it passes the Oregon Trail test, then that's a good place to stop. So, there we go. Computer passes the Oregon Trail test. Take the floppy disk out so I don't lose it. So, why is computer not in the case yet? It's because I didn't get a chance to wash the case with soap and water like I wanted to. So, next steps with computer, probably I'll wash the top of the case and put it in the case, and that may just be something I do. Sometime I'll have to take a look at this card because it is not working. Probably a bad memory chip, but I don't know. It could be a bad logic chip on it. This is the memory card that was in computer when I got it. It's even got the MCA brand. So I'd like to put this one back in computer, but for now, I have a Garrett's Workshop reproduction installed, so at least I've got a memory card I can put in here, but I'd like to fix that one because that's the original card. Computer is a restoration, so I would like to put the original cards in computer. At least the original cards that I have from computer, which, again, for, I guess, just a review, was this memory card and the Z80 card here. So as part of it, I am going to put this 80 column card in computer. It stays because you can't use the Z80 card without an 80 column card because CPM requires an 80 column card. And also, I'll be leaving a disk controller card in computer because, well, you got to be able to boot disks to run CPM. So while these 2 cards are not original to computer, they're the best I could come up with. Because trying to find these MCA branded cards is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. I don't know how many of them were made. But, I mean, I look on eBay occasionally just to see if they show up. But I haven't seen any MCA cards or an MCA... Okay, I take that back. I haven't seen any MCA cards, but I think I did see one clone on eBay last year, and it looked like it might have been MCA branded motherboard, but it was in, like, Canada. So, I mean, I wasn't going to buy it, but I think I did see it, and it might have been MCA branded motherboard, but I don't think it had any expansion cards in it. So no opportunity to see by eBay photos what it might have come with. But anyways, don't forget to smash that like button if you like it when I work on computer. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when I go live next. Today, alas, the last day of April Apples. Didn't get much traction on that this year. But hey, we had some fun with it on my channel. So, let's see here. Starting in May, I will be live streaming Mondays and Thursdays. So Monday will be 8 p.m. Eastern, and Thursday will be 9 p.m. Eastern. And I think I probably will... Let's see, I think I've got a live stream scheduled for Monday. Oh, interestingly enough, I tentatively scheduled the Pentium 4 motherboard for May 4th. And now I have an oscilloscope, thanks to Jason of Gut Bomb Industries. So I'm thinking that we'll take another look at the Pentium 4 board on Monday. Pentium 4. No, not Pentium 4. The Socket 4 motherboard on Monday. Because that's the thing. Now I've got an oscilloscope. We can see if there's any signs of life on the board at all. So, yeah, we'll probably look at that on Monday. Because I would kind of like to see if that board works or not. Let's see here. Dave says, hope to see you Sunday. I should be able to join at least part of the time Sunday. This past Sunday I didn't get home till like 5 o'clock, so there's no chance to join your stream. But yeah, this Sunday I think I should be available at some point. So, anyways, with that, I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. I hope to see you here Monday, where I think we will get back to the Socket 4 motherboard mystery. See if there's any signs of life on the board. We'll see if the Zoe oscilloscope is up to the task. I mean, it should at least give me some indication if there's any signs of life on the board. We'll probe the ISA bus if necessary, because that should be a clock speed it can definitely handle. But anyways, and then I think the following week, I was tentatively thinking of working on the 5150. So stay tuned. We got plenty of exciting live streams coming up. With that, I think it's about time for me to stop streaming so I can go to bed, because I do have to work tomorrow. So I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. And let me see. Let me make sure I got my finger in the right spot. So take care and God bless. Computerized Start is brought to you by my awesome patrons on Patreon, and by your tips and memberships on Ko-fi. These and other channel supporters make my live streams possible. You too can become a channel supporter with tiers starting at just $1. Don't forget to smash that like button. And if you've liked what you've seen, subscribe and turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or live stream. And as always, thank you for all your support. I hope to see you next time. And until then, take care.